I got a lot of it accidentally, and I didn't even know I was doing it. I got into the Vox relay from.
You got in there accidentally?
You go hunting for the reptilian arm thing for Inez, and then there's a sewer grate which you go through that takes you into the Vox relay.
What are you talking? I spent 7 hours preparing to get into the Vox relay, and you did it accidentally?
Yeah, I was like, where am I? And then I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, Dave.
Why do these people not like me all of a sudden?
Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of everyone's favorite podcast, the Critical Arcade Podcast. I'm your co-host, Nick.
And I'm Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Nick. You well?
Yes, I'm quite well, thank you. Do you remember playing Fallout New Vegas?
Of course I can. Everybody remembers playing Fallout New Vegas. Nobody's picked up that game and said, "Oh, I don't remember it." It's a part of our DNA as gamers now. Fallout New Vegas is the best Fallout game by all accounts. Still to this day, I think.
So, okay, how many hours did you put into New Vegas? Do you remember?
What, like I've played it a few times, so I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah, I've restarted Fallout a few times. I've gone back to it on I had it for PlayStation, I had it for Xbox, and I had it for PC. Kind of like So I must have put in about 400 hours, I'd say, if you would add it all up.
Jeez.
It's a good game. You want to play the bad guy, you want to play the good guy. And of course the stories do change. I can't remember exactly which. I know the casinos, there's 3 different branching endings you can do, which I did each one of them. Yeah, good game. Have you played Vegas? I can't remember.
Don't ask me that. No, I've not played Fallout New Vegas.
You've not played Fallout, but you've played.
I know. I've seen. I've heard.
It is the better one. But again, Obsidian is kind of like the OG RPG maker, so it makes sense to some
real RPG. That's real PG. I don't know.
Did you play? You didn't play Fallout 3 either, so you're
no, I've not.
You went straight to 4. Was your foray into Fallout?
Well, I mean, once Fallout 4 came out, that's only when I've got access to a gaming platform.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. And again, I don't think 4 deserves the hate it gets, to be honest with you.
No, I don't think so either. I think Fallout 4 is a great game.
Yeah, same. It's not as good as New Vegas, though. New Vegas is a better game.
That's the problem. Just because it's not as good as the other ones, all of a sudden, it's bad.
Yeah, I feel a little bit like an elitist just by saying that. It's still true, but you're right. It's kind of a mean thing to always measure these games by its counterparts and stuff like that. You should just measure them by the game you've got in front of you.
Exactly.
And 4 was good. I didn't mind 4.
I'm asking because Fallout New Vegas is one of the first games from the developers of this week's game. Dave, how about you introduce us to this week's game?
Well, by all accounts, I'm sure you just heard the developer we were talking about, but this week's game just came out, and this is Outer Worlds 2.
Yep.
Which I was kind of surprised they got a 2, because I was initially under the impression that 1 didn't do too well and stuff like that. But I was completely wrong. It's sold over 5 million copies.
Whoa, Outer Worlds 1?
Yeah.
No way.
It's one of those things that we all know about the internet now, that you get this the hype train. If it's even a mediocre hype train, people think, oh, it's a bad game. But it's not true. People are playing it. People aren't telling people they're playing it. But it sold quite a lot. It made a decent amount of money. This is
exactly why I need to keep reminding myself that the internet can sometimes be just a little echo chamber.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yes.
Right? And, the minority can be quite loud on Reddit when in reality, the layman is buying and enjoying Outer Worlds.
Exactly right. Yeah, the internet just rides waves of certain opinions, and then it dips and another wave comes up. It is just torrents of just one person's opinion being echoed, and then it feels like that's the collective opinion, but it's not. The reason Outer Worlds 2 exists is because 1 did so well that it funded the second one to come into play. And,
and I'm sure Xbox did give them a chance to start a new IP with Avowed.
Yes, that's true.
I'm sure Avowed sold fine.
Yeah, it's one of the things I should actually look into, because that had the same thing, didn't it? It had the same, like, this isn't that great and it doesn't do this well. But I also think that sounds exactly the same narrative Outer Worlds 1 had. People were saying the exact same thing. It's alright, it doesn't play as well as New Vegas, but it's still actually a good game.
Yes, it's a fine game.
It is very strange.
We don't... These companies don't need to reinvent the wheel.
No, exactly.
Each and every time. Sometimes I'm okay with the studio just making a serviceable game. Great. Thank you. This is good food. Yes.
Exactly right. And again, with what we've talked about this before, with the industry the way it is, even just an ordinary good game should be getting the accolades that it does, because
it should.
It's scratching those itches we all have. And again, with Obsidian, which is a company that goes back many years, they were the ones that did Neverwinter Nights 2, I think, or 1, I can't remember which one. They did Knights of the Old Republic 2. They did, of course, Fallout New Vegas. They did some Dungeon Siege. They did, like you said last week, I think, they did The Stick of Truth from South Park. They did do that one. They did crowdfunded their own game, Pillars of Eternity.
Pillars of Eternity, yeah. And then they did the second one too, Deadfire.
And they were all kind of hits. I don't know if you define those as indie hits because it's crowdfunded. I'm not really sure how that falls.
I think technically, yeah. And
then Avowed, like I said, Avowed they released earlier this year, right? Which,
wasn't it last year? Was it this year?
I actually don't know now. Time just flows so quickly. I really do forget. Let me just find out when that came out.
Well,
Avowed
whenever it wasn't that long ago.
No, I think it was March. It was March this year.
Oh, wow, that's recent.
Obsidian published the game. Oh, no, February. February this year.
Okay, that's fine, but it's still this year.
So they had kind of two big releases this year, being Avowed and then, of course, Outer Worlds 2.
That's incredible. Just releasing 2 games in the same year.
That's actually kind of a lot. That is a lot.
Big. That's not easy. Running a game studio is hard.
And like you said, and Avowed being a new IP, that's like even more impressive because you got to build the world, the people, the whole concept, and all the other things. But yeah, we got Outer Worlds 2. And did you ever get round to watching that secret level?
No, episode? I didn't. I remember you telling me I should go watch the secret level episode for the Outer Worlds, and I haven't.
I was thinking about it playing this game, and it's such a one of those things. I was thinking, if anybody's ever questioning if this is the type of game you want to play or be interested in, I would just watch this one episode of Secret Level, or whatever it's called, which is all about the Outer Worlds world, and it's a perfect 20 minutes, I think it is, like taster to see if you'd be into this thing, because it is really quite good by all accounts.
Nice. I don't think I need this episode of Secret Level, because by playing through this game, I think it took a while, but eventually sold me.
Okay, yeah, these games actually do, like you say, fundamentally take a little while to grab hold to you, because they have to build the worlds, they got to build the characters, they got to build the scenario and all that stuff to kind of get you hooked. Did you know this was originally just going to be Xbox and PC? But
yeah, of course. I think most Xbox games were just going to be Xbox and PC.
Okay, that is valid. Sorry, that is a valid statement. By all accounts, just the market now in regards to Halo coming to PlayStations and stuff like that, they then decided a few months ago to actually release it on PlayStation and stuff as well, because we're slowly turning into this era of multi-platform releases and more wars between consoles and all that.
By that decision made by Xbox could mean that our performance segment is going to look very similar to last week's performance segment.
Well, that's very true, I suppose. That's very true.
But before we continue further, speaking of Xbox,
yes,
we'd just like to mention that we received this code graciously from Xbox to review this week. So we would just like to say thank you, Xbox.
Yes, thank you, Xbox. It's a rarity to say thank you, Xbox, nowadays. With Game Pass
you can't say that.
Sorry, I love Xbox. Thank you, Xbox. Xbox is the greatest.
No,
I feel very Outer Worlds 2. That was very I felt very corporate. I felt very. But yes, thank you, Xbox.
That's quite in theme with this week's game with Outer Worlds 2. Yes, you capitalism.
Yeah, but it's one of those weird things. Sadly, in this game, I thought was a bit Remember when games used to use old saves that meant something in your new game? Why is that gone?
What do you mean? I don't understand.
By all accounts, when Mass Effect 1, decisions changed to Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2, it changed to Mass Effect 3. And that was kind of like, it was fun to pick up from your old decisions.
Okay.
And Outer Worlds 2 is still set in the same universe as Outer Worlds 1, just different areas of it, by all accounts.
Well, I mean, easy, because games take 5-6 years to make. Can you remember when Outer Worlds 1 released? I think it was 2019.
No, it was actually quite a while ago. But even, I think, Knights of the Old Republic, the game they made, same thing happened. I'm pretty sure your decisions you made, not a big deal. It didn't game changer like Mass Effect, by all accounts. But I kind of liked that.
Yeah, because the entire Mass Effect trilogy was made in the same span between Outer Worlds 1 and 2.
Oh, yes, that's probably true. They did come out quite quickly, right, in regards to release and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not saying they were rushed. What I'm saying is games now take way too long. By the time you get to the second game, you're on a different platform.
And by all accounts, like I said before, we got too many games, right? You've filled that.
You've got too many games.
We have got
way too many games.
And back in the day, you just had 3, so you could kind of remember the decisions you made in the last one. That's true. Like I said, it made me a bit sad that my decisions from the first ones, because I actually own the original one. I was a fan of Obsidian games, and I kind of wanted the save data, or at least an acknowledgement of my past character, whatever it
does make sense, yeah.
But anyway, should we jump into the narrative of this one?
Let's go. The narrative.
Again, kind of a complex thing to, kind of score, because Obsidian games, and being RPGs as they are, the narrative is pretty much revolving around you and your decisions you make. And again, you start off with the character, you play the commander, which was very Mass Effect again. All I had was Shepard in my mind when it noted that name. And then, of course, depending, you get to choose your traits and your backstory and a perk or something in some regards. And my
favorite, a flaw.
True, this is the whole flaw system, which is it's a clever idea. Out of curiosity, how many flaws did you accept?
I don't think I ended up accepting any because I didn't like the benefits to them really.
Yeah, that's right. I only accepted one.
But I will not deny the fact that I think flaws are an excellent part of what makes a very good character.
And it does, in this regard, add narrative to a lot of things. Because the flaw I got was weak need, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of me by all accounts. I can't say no to that because that's who I am. I can feel the struggle of trying to get up off the floor or trying to get off the sofa and stuff like that.
The flaw that helped me out the most was one that I picked in character creation, sickly. There were a couple missions where I needed to help out a medic or medicinal officer or doctors.
That's right. There's a few.
And the sickly trait helped me to relate to their patients, meaning the doctors would hear me out.
Oh, really? That's kind of cool.
It is cool. I have such a massive disdain for Mary Sues. I think they are boring. I think that they do not make for a good character. So whenever you have a flaw, that broadens your character. And I think, as someone who plays loads of D&D, that's how you make a good character.
Oh, agreed, right? Everything's not perfect. You're not the maxed out on every stat, so everything goes your way type things, right?
Yes.
But again, this is what these games do really well. Obsidian is known for doing these things really well. It's very hard for me when I was starting this game because one of the traits you can get is dumb. And this does this really well because it makes you want to play another playthrough. We'll talk about that later in value for money. But I just think to myself, dumb is so good. There's other games that has that option, and I can't remember what it is now.
Yes.
I'm guessing it was Fallout.
Of course, it's Fallout New Vegas. I read somewhere when you make your intelligence, or is it Baldur's Gate 3? I can't remember. When your intelligence is below a certain number, you talk like a caveman.
Yeah, I know. And who doesn't want to be? Like I said, there's like a story branch. Who doesn't want to be a big dumbass that saves the world?
Yes! That sounds like so much fun.
Right? That's one of the fun. Again, Obsidian does this so well. And so you do start the game as the commander. You are in a system called Arcadia, and you start off on a mission to kind of uncover the warp drives or the technology behind the warp drives.
Skip drives.
skip drives, sorry.
Yeah.
And then everything goes wrong, as most tutorial missions always do in some big way, so that you become stranded, and you become stranded on a
big old planet called the town of Fairfield.
That's right, there. I was trying to think what it was called. And you, again, you kind of got this whole story narrative. You were in cryogenically frozen for a good few years, so the world has kind of progressed around you, and so now you've got to kind of restart. You're tracking down the person.
Yeah.
Kind of sabotaged your mission. We don't know why. We don't know the reason, and she was trusted and all these other fantastic things. But you start in a world. Again, my favorite part of this whole game is that you play a grey area continuously.
Yes.
Right? It's
yes. Hell yeah. Again.
Hours, multiple hours in, 20 to some 30 hours potentially getting into this, and I still do not know which side I kind of go on.
None of them. Right? That's the good part.
But you can't,
truly, in a war, there are no good sides.
Very true. But you can't play the neutral role. Because story... Again, this is something, like you just said, in like Dungeons and Dragons, that this does very well. The complexity and the
correct.
moral...
It understands.
Yeah, insecurity of knowing if you're making the right choice.
Yes.
So it's every single like story beat is always like, yeah, but the Protectorate is just a militarized bunch of gun nuts that's kind of hardcore. Auntie's Choice is just massive corporate consumerism, which is
exactly.
Gross.
There aren't any. On the one side, it's capitalism. On the other side, it's propagandism. There is no good side.
And later on, there's the religious cult, the Ascendants, that kind of
correct. The
riffs, right?
Order of the Ascendants. It's just
and it's so grey all the time. You don't know what
good.
you're doing,
and that's good. And that's good.
Again,
so many people have become so accustomed to good, bad, black and white.
Yes, agreed.
Yes or no. Binary, Boolean statements. There is no grey area, but I think there should be more.
No, I agree. It's like Baldur's Gate 3. I remember the producer or something called people out because when they researched their data, most people went with white human paladin, and they were like, come on, we give you all that customization and you're playing good versus dark. You are playing the stoic hero.
Paladin man.
Exactly, and that's exactly what you're saying. People are so used to just playing, I'm going to good guy.
Good,
and the world isn't
vanilla.
Exactly. And
I think games like these are good. We need more of them.
Yeah, and this really does. There's a lot of the choices you make in this game really have a lot of weight to the outcome. We're talking people dying, people losing their jobs, people going hungry, the rich becoming richer. Again, I'm hours and hours in, and I don't know which grey area I'm leaning towards. Because even when you do some things, you get these, like in a lot of Obsidian games, if you do things for one parter, be it Auntie's Choice or the Protectorate, you get points in the favour. So you start getting discounts at their shops, or people start talking about you in a nice way. But you think to yourself, I'm being talked nice by an evil corporation each time, and they don't really give you the out. You have to kind of, like, again, there was one at Auntie's Choice, has the money. There's another side that's Protectorate, but they're not surviving. They're dying. So is it better to convince them to move to Auntie's Choice, because then they'll actually have food and a bit of security?
Yes,
but
and not
Auntie's
just
Choice will have under their thumb corporate. You'll be working for them forever, and it has.
And the game doesn't do these things for you. The game doesn't tell you, this is the right choice. This is what the game's going to do. No, it gives you the choice.
I left that mission.
You did?
You play these games, right? You want to grind, you want to get XP, you want to get money, you want to unlock armor and guns and stuff like that. But I don't like Auntie's Choice.
No,
I don't
think you're supposed to like Auntie's Choice.
So I couldn't complete the mission, which made me just lie and trick people to go and live with Auntie's Choice. So I left it. It's still on my quest bar.
No way.
To kind of do.
Okay, wait a minute. So Vigilant Hogarth is still fending for Westport by himself.
Yes, I fixed some things for him. I fixed the robots. I helped them. I helped the guy with the the drug problem with
The
Auntie's
purple
Choice
berry
purple
crunch
crackers.
addiction.
Yeah, exactly. I helped him. I helped a few people, but I couldn't, in good conscience, make them move to Auntie's Choice.
Wow. I did.
Did you? Did it work out well, or are they now corporate shills?
You know
who are
what?
just on the
I
phone?
decided I'm going to convince everyone and sabotage the town.
Ooh, wow. That's, again, very grey. Like, it's not one way or the other. But you were just, that sounds like you were XP farming. You just wanted all the XP.
So I couldn't believe my ears. There's this little moment that happened when I was speaking to Vigilant Hogarth and this specific mission.
Yeah.
Right? At one point, I could switch out the Protectorate's scolding messages on the loudspeakers.
That's right.
With Milver Street's propaganda for Auntie's Choice.
Yes.
Right? That was something I did on a whim. Nothing showed me in that direction. Nothing told me to do it.
That's right.
I just did it because it was fun. Eventually, when I convinced everyone to move to Fairfield to Auntie's Choice, and then Vigilant Hogarth said, "Oh, he's gonna stay here for Westport."
Okay, fair.
And then I told him, "Oh yeah, well, are you okay with listening to Milver Street for eternity?" And then he said, "No, he isn't. That's a very good point. He's actually gonna move to Fairfield because of that."
Wow, like I said, it's so dark.
Not just that. What I'm trying to get at is the choices I made. One tiny and consequential decision during gameplay changed the story.
No, exactly right. And there were so many times, again, this is what Obsidian and the narrative does a lot, that you'll have these dialogue options, and like 3 of them are blocked out, and you think, God, I wish I had more brawn, or God, I wish I was a medic, because you know that the 3 options you have might not turn out great, and you just wonder, what if I was a medic, or I was a science person? Can I actually make the outcome better?
Yes.
And so that in
most cases you can.
Yeah, exactly. And that just pulls on you every single time you make a decision, and you're like, ah! Which is, again, narratively, it's very weird, but it makes you want to play it through again. It makes you look forward to your next playthrough, which is a clever thing.
It is, but I think the trap that loads of gamers fall into, because of the direction RPGs have gone into, most RPGs I'd say, is instead of leveling in a certain way, playing a certain role in this game, gamers have gotten accustomed to just becoming the everything person.
Yes, I used to do that too.
Right?
Yeah,
You just level up everything.
Yeah. And just become an overpowered god.
Exactly. This isn't that game. That's not how games or RPGs used to be.
Agreed. No, that's very true. Skyrim and stuff kind of ruined it. You can basically max out all your stats in Skyrim and become crazily overpowered, and everybody followed suit in that degree. But you're right. Back in the day, games were never like this. Like
you can't have all the skills, all the perks. You can't level up every stat.
Exactly.
You were playing a certain role.
Yeah.
And this is that. This is what I miss. If it's not coming across, I'm a big fan of the narrative, ladies and gents.
Yes, and of course, like Nick here is a big D&D person, so I can see how so much of this must have just got your hairs on end in regards to, yes, that's a genius idea. Like,
exactly, because it is. Because it is, exactly. A good story is not told by a Mary Sue who could just do everything and be good at loads of stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And of course, just like good old Obsidian fashion be it, there's so many wacky side quests too. I don't know if you ever got around to it, but there's an entire side quest where an army base has accidentally had a praying mantis reptilian creature been promoted to their captain. So, because he's brave and he doesn't run away, so he got promoted above everyone else. And so now they...
Oh, that's great, because those are the defining factors of Protectorate.
And now no one can decide who's going to be second in command because he tends to eat his subordinates. So their problem is they can't get rid of him because he's their superior, but nobody wants to be the second in command because it will probably kill them. And you have to fix this problem. It's such a wacky, weird problem.
Oh, that's great. No, I did not encounter this.
You have conversations
excellent.
with the creature that aren't translated in the slightest. So he just clicks at you and you go, "Ah, yes, but is that the way you want to lead?" And he clicks it. And they got so many of those like weirdly bizarre, wacky scenarios that you know that
I love it.
That just take you through you think, wow, okay, I'm saving the world. This is stressful, and then you get a wacky little side mission. You're like, oh, this is fantastic. I don't know where this is going, but I look forward to seeing what the hell's going to happen. And they got loads of those.
That does kind of remind me of one of the big criticisms of the Outer Worlds 1 is people said it was too much, too witty, too much millennial humor. So they kind of had to walk the same tightrope that Borderlands 4 is walking now.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Right?
I can see that.
Kind of tone down the humor.
Yes.
Make it hit a bit. I don't want to say harder, but sharper.
Yes, agreed.
But keep the parts that need to be serious and need to be straight. Keep those solid.
It's a hard line to walk. The low. Yeah, that's a hard line to walk. I agree.
Yeah, because I wouldn't. I don't think I'd be able to do that.
Yeah, because like I said, narratively you also get those little bits of banter between your companions to and fro when you're walking around, which again, like you said, some of it can be kind of like serious, like some of them asking how, like, for example, because your companions are fundamentally either Protectorate, Answer's Choice, the Religious, or like assassins and stuff like that, they kind of have differing opinions and kind of argue a little bit, right? When they talk to one another.
As they should, because they are different characters.
Yeah, and then the next moment, they're kind of like ribbing each other, kind of making fun of one another because of, like, one of the ladies you have has grafts of different monsters. And then they're like, okay, but how do you, like, brush your hair and stuff like that? They'll ask weird dialogues like, how do you use a claw to go to the bathroom? Like, does it? So there is some nice banter between the serious stuff and so it is really clever. The world they build with their narrative is clever, and there was a lot there to digest and kind of really get your fingers into.
The narrative for Outer Worlds 2 is better than the narrative for Outer Worlds 1. It walks the tightrope better. The characters, I think, are tighter. And what puts them above 99% of other games is these are characters, not caricatures.
Yeah, it's very true. I get what you mean. They're not just
They're not just stereotypes.
Overemphasized burly man and quiet in the shadows assassin, right? Like just like the No, yeah, there's complexity to it. Do you know who my least favorite character is?
Niles.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Sadly, the one you start with is kind of, he's got like the whole Tom Hanks Castaway type story to him. He was on his own with a robot for a long time and he started doing models and trying to cook food.
Cool, great character, but give me someone fun.
He really is the most boring. I hope, like, granted, I've developed his story a little bit, helped the Doctor and all the other things. Same. But he is the most boring one. I can't get past that.
It's unfortunate.
But the other ones are wacky and wonderful. Be it an old assassin, you've got a grafted lady, you get a guy with a big hammer, and the religious nut that likes to burn things. You know, so there's a lot there that really gets you again, and gets wacky and wonderful very quickly.
They've all got their own character quests that you can progress and kind of unlock more to learn more about them, as well as unlock new gameplay mechanics.
Exactly,
level them up.
No, there's a lot there.
I think it is great. I also, the last thing on the narrative for mine is the satirical tone. We mentioned the humor. I think is sharper in this one. Yeah. Less but better, which is, I think, the path that is the right path for them to go on. But the satirical tone is still a real highlight.
Mm-hmm.
The corporation of Auntie's Choice just taking over capitalism, winning.
Yeah, doesn't that hit home a little bit too much?
It does.
Now? That's right, when you play the game.
It does. Like, when people talk about their jobs being their identities, and if they get demoted, might as well kill themselves.
Fundamentally, I see Auntie's Choice and I just think of Amazon all the time. Like,
Amazon, it's a good one. I think of Either Apple or Google, one of those
Yeah,
two.
it's true. No, those are big ones. There's too many relatable companies
Oh, it
that
is.
seem to
Oh,
be
isn't it
Auntie's
great?
choice. It is crazy.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I've got for narrative.
Okay, should we jump to visuals then? What did you think of the visuals of this game?
I think my favorite part of the visuals is, I know this is going to sound obvious, but the sci-fi element for this is good, but it being retro sci-fi makes it
yes.
so much better.
Which is very Fallout. Like, it's one of those weird things. I know we're going to compare this a lot to Fallout fundamentally because it's the same IP. But I agree with you. I love the idea that your radio is on a wireless, which is again both old school radios used to be called wirelesses if people didn't know that back in the day. And of course the technology now is kind of wireless, so it's kind of like a double entendre in
and if you need to copy something from someone's computer, you slot in a cartridge.
Yeah, isn't that cool? I know. As old people, just enjoying the idea of shoving in a device to make like a floppy disk. Yeah, that's fun. Visually, strangely enough, did make you smile, right?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, I know.
And that electronics somehow mostly works with pipes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
How?
Yeah.
I've no idea. But there are loads of pipes all over the place.
Interdimensional travel, but we still use pipes. We still got
CRTs.
Yeah, and that's right. And even the bad guys, like the smuggling group, just use those old school bunny masks that you get from like masquerade balls and stuff like that. There's a lot of like retro futurism, like you said, which I think lots of people enjoy, right? We all love
yes.
contrasts
because it's different.
It is.
Because it's different. I don't mind the straight-laced sci-fi of Starfield.
Yes,
it's
of course,
fine.
Yeah.
But again, I'd like it to be a bit more fun.
Right, agreed. And I'm a big sci-fi person too. Star Trek, Star Wars, Blade Runner, all those things. I agree, there's a place for it. But when you're playing a game where you're trying to get invested in something, bits that are relatable a bit. You know, I love Cyberpunk 2024, I don't know what the age, 20 something.
No.
Whatever that was called. Love
Cyberpunk 2005.
Yeah, it's the numbers just fall away. It's Cyberpunk for me. I don't know what year it is. But yeah, there's something, like I said, us being able to smirk about them using solid state drives to kind of transfer data, and even your bits, the currency you have are these big chunky slabs like from like the old zip discs back in the day. It's very Bioshock, very Fallout. I think we all kind of love this genre, and they do it well visually in this game too.
Yeah, no, totally. There's something about retrofuturism that just gets
just
a lot of
all
people.
the boxes. I also like it's one of the games where they actually think it through quite a lot. A lot of the I don't know if you noticed on your ship, which I've also forgotten the name of, the big blue ship you try. Can you remember what it is? You remember everything, right? What's the ship called?
No.
The blue ship. Yes! See, you're getting old, just like
Oh
me.
no, don't say that.
It changes in regards to how some of your missions take place and how they end up and stuff like that.
Ooh.
So you'll get mounted heads of creatures if you do kill them, but if you decide not, you'll get something else. The cabins, when you get new companions, will actually change, and you get to see kind of like what their hobbies are.
Nice. Hell yeah. I didn't know that. Makes complete sense.
Niles has a bunch of like the Gundam figures in there that he likes to do, and cooking recipes and graft lady.
You see what I mean?
These
aren't caricatures. These aren't stereotypes. These there were loads of thought put into how these can be turned into characters with traits, flaws, perks. It's so great. It's
so cool to come on your ship and then you go, what the hell's that? And you go, oh, that was that thing from that mission that person gave me, because you get objects and stuff like that, and it builds an atmosphere of like you're on a journey, you're on an adventure and stuff. You would keep trophies and mementos and stuff like that. It adds to that kind of, again, the narrative that the world you're in is affected by what you do. Which is also really kind of a cool thing just to see.
It is. That's incredible. More games should be doing that. This really does feel like a role-playing game.
It does. And again, Obsidian are kind of the big players in these games. There are Bethesda and stuff like that too, but
I've been wanting to ask you a question about Obsidian. Do you know of the theory of the not the theory of the ship of Theseus? The ship of Theseus, there's this, I'm going to call it a theory now for lack of a better term, but it's not theory, that the ship of Theseus, over the years of it journeying across multiple seas, every single part of the ship has been replaced at some point.
Okay, yes, I can see that.
Does this mean that at the end of its journeys, it's still the same
is it the same ship, or is it a new ship?
Right? Because it's called the ship of Theseus, but is it?
Yeah.
And now I'm asking you, is it still the same Obsidian?
Ooh. By its very definition, no.
Yeah.
Only because Obsidian's been going for so long.
Yes.
But, like you said, it's still got the bare bones of a boat. It still has in this analogy, a mainsail, a cabin, a sturdy...
well, of course, but is it the ship of Theseus?
I don't know. It's a very weird,
That's such
a question for a review. It's complex.
It is complex. It is complex. I'm not expecting there to be an answer. I don't think anyone can answer this. It all just depends on how many staff is still left over from those old projects.
That's very true.
I can't think there's many, if any, at all.
But by that same standard, even if it's not the same staff, it's more than likely people who did play their games originally and have thus been
trained by them.
Exactly. From the games you've played would change how you make games.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting point because it is again a query and stuff people have debated on. Right? Is it still the same ship? Is it a new ship? Well, no. That's a deep question, though.
It is.
For the visual sections of
one worth thinking about for these very old studios.
I also... Sorry, go on.
No, but I was going to move on from style and talk about some of the graphical points.
Okay, go on. What did you think?
I think one part that impressed me more than I thought it would was something that's actually incredibly obvious. For a game that you spend so much time talking to people that they would spend a lot of time improving characters' faces.
Yes, I agree.
What did you think about the faces?
No, I was playing this game, so it's very hard not to think of like Bethesda, Oblivion, where you talk to someone and they do that 45-degree just look at you and it's a flat face, right? Hi, how can I help you? This again, it has that when you first engage them, but you're right. When it's a rapid conversation or a stress conversation, their bodies move. They do have life into them, but on that same extent, only the ones that are kind of relevant to the storytelling.
Yeah.
A lot of the other people kind of are Oblivion NPCs, and I don't know if I can really throw that down as being a super big problem, because you're trying to build a massive world. You cannot flesh every single character out in it. It would just take too long.
They try.
They do. And they do, like we're used to in a lot of games now, they do move around, they do duties, they're smoking cigarettes, eating food, or whatever.
I think when it comes to these faces or the depth of these NPCs in this world, I put them in 3 camps.
Go on.
The third camp, the one that you interact the least with, are just NPCs in the overworld that you can kind of interact with, but it won't initiate a dialogue. They'll just have a throwaway line.
That's right. They do, yeah.
The second camp is an NPC that you can talk with. The one that has a dialogue for you. Milver
like
Street.
A side quest type
exactly.
thing.
Hogarth, Pinckney.
Yeah.
You can talk with all of these characters and you can see their faces react. Who's that researcher that works with the Raptidons? I remember seeing...
Are you asking his name? Yeah, I do know the one you're talking about.
I remember her face being surprised the moment she saw Inez.
Oh yeah, she was surprised. That's right. I remember that whole scene, right? No.
That's the second camp. The first camp, where the most amount of effort was put in, is your companions and
Yes.
the main story characters.
Yes, agreed. Of course, yes.
You
those
can
are all-
clearly see that Niles and Inez and the other characters, their faces had a lot of work put into them.
Yes, because a lot of them, again, like we said, narratively have kind of a lot to hide, and they don't want
Yes.
to tell you all of it straight away. So
Yes.
they do have a lot of facial tics or looking down and stuff like that in regards to not wanting to divulge.
Exactly.
their
And they're going to be a
story
big part
straight
of
away.
your game throughout the
Oh, yes,
entirety.
yes. My favorite was the old lady. She's the kill. You may not have met her yet, but she's just an assassin who's an old woman who just wants to now kill people. She's great. My favorite. Niles is gone. She's now my new member. Niles.
I've not.
No, I agree. There is a lot. There is a lot in the whole. And again, we have evolved from the Oblivion type things. It's even evolved from the Fallout things. Fallout conversational people, be it in Fallout 4, didn't have the greatest actual mannerisms and stuff to their move, and it is good here. In regards to the character-driven characters, they do actually have life to them.
Yes.
But I get that you've got to play the middle line. It's like one of these games. Did you think, because this is kind of by its definition an open world game,
It is an open world game.
but I think this isn't, like Skyrim, super open worlds, and we've got Starfield,
yes,
massively open
that's
world. I
super-
think this is the good combo. This is like each planet gives you about 10 hours if you wanted to do all the side quests, scavenger, and all that stuff, right? I was on that first bit for quite a long time.
Yeah,
And then
I'd say a bit more than 10 hours.
Yeah, which I'm glad I didn't spend 30 hours just going to every little question mark on the map to say, oh look,
Yeah,
there's
that
a chest.
sounds like a good way to ruin a game.
Yes, I think
yourself.
this has got a good. I think it's got good pacing visually, if that makes any sense, because then you get to go to another planet and you go, oh yeah, new planet, and then you get to go to the trading planet set in a spaceship, and you're like, oh yeah. You kind of get a carrot on the stick quickly enough that you don't get bored visually in regards to where you
Agreed. I do think the pacing can be a bit tighter. I got the mission to infiltrate the Vox relay when I landed, and only ended up actually infiltrating the Vox relay many hours later.
Agreed. I actually,
In my opinion, I
accidentally-
think the pacing can be a slight bit tighter.
I got a lot of it accidentally, and I didn't even know I was doing it. I got
What?
into the Vox. I got into the Vox relay from.
You got in there
killing-
accidentally?
You go hunting for the reptilian arm thing for Inez, and then there's a sewer grate which you go through that takes you into the Vox relay. And
What are
I
you
was like,
talking?
where the
I
hell am
spent 7 hours preparing to get into the Vox relay, and you did it accidentally?
Yeah, I was like, where am I? And then I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, no!
Why do these people not like me all of a sudden? Oh, big moral question. Did you send those people to the bridge for that bitch on the bridge? That
I
wanted
did
to
not.
catch her?
I did not do that.
Did you not? I accidentally did on one of them.
You did?
Her
That's
cousin.
fine. As long as
Her
you
cousin was
didn't
the-
send Inez, that's fine.
Her cousin was the purple druggy guy.
No,
That's the guy
no,
you send.
no.
Yes, it is. It is him.
No!
And then she strings him up in one of those like crucifixion boxes on the ceiling where he has to spend there for the rest of his life, which I thought, holy crap, I didn't mean to do that. And all my
No.
companions told me off for doing it too. And I was like,
Wow.
wow, I just pressed dialogue buttons. I didn't know it was going to be such a big deal, but it was.
Don't just press dialogue buttons.
Yeah, no, see, Obsidian games, you can't just press
Goodness.
dialogue
Okay.
buttons. Things happen.
We're losing time. Let's move
sorry.
on to audio, unless you've got anything more for visuals.
No, audio, because I got this big written down. I
Yeah?
don't know if I like the audio or not. There's the one big thing. The adverts and the wireless repeated so bloody much.
They did.
Auntie's
They
choice
did.
is the best choice. But on
It's
my
sup-
other side of my brain is it supposed to.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's supposed to. That's the point. That's the point.
That's right,
part
I
of
mean,
the. Okay. That's the point, but also, that's not. If it's not fun, don't add it in the game.
But it is. But it's such a fine line because you think to yourself, "Am I reading into this? Were they big-brained to hit us with like a consumerism advert that gets into your earworm and you can't stop thinking about it? Is that planned, or am I just reading into it thinking they're geniuses? But it was like, actually, no, we just didn't have enough audio to play, so we just had to keep repeating it.
You're reading into it.
I know, because I was like, the songs were doing my head in. The wireless was, I had that song playing all the time.
So,
my wife started getting annoyed with it.
Did you turn off your wireless?
I did for a bit, but then I forgot to, and I just left it on. I'll be honest. I know there's Auntie's Choice, the best choice, and some sort of candy tobacco product they kept pushing as well. I don't know which one that was. And it was driving me a bit mental. I was getting driven a bit mental. But
I get it. I turned off my wireless. It was on for a bit, and then I turned it off.
But the funny thing is, I remember leaving the radio on in New Vegas because the songs in New Vegas were great.
Really?
I know it's a weird comparison. Gridiron on His Hip and stuff like that were bangers. I loved those songs. So I got very annoyed with the radio on this. But you're an audio man. What did you think? Sorry.
No, that is a very good point. I did not put on my wireless for very long at all. Mainly because I didn't spend that much time in between conversations. I spent a very large chunk of my time talking to people.
Yes, of course. The majority of the game, or a lot of the game, is that. So that makes sense.
Yes. So I didn't... Sorry. The music is great. The music's fine.
I was going to ask you, is there actually a soundtrack? Because I don't know. I just had Auntie's Choice in my head all the time. Is there actually like a banging soundtrack that I've just been missing out on all the time?
It's
or is it
all
just
right.
Atmospheric?
It's all right.
Yeah.
One thing, I know we've spoken at length about the retrofuturism of this game, but what I also like that they do because of the retrofuturism is it's not a load of techno dubstep.
Yes, of course. Yes,
it's an orchestra playing orchestral tunes.
We love orchestras in Critical Arcade.
Yeah,
right?
More orchestras, please.
Yep. So that's cool. I have been missing out then. Is that like
No, I wouldn't say you've been missing out. It's fine.
Okay. Because I do like the later jets. It still have kind of like an environmental sound effects. You go to a military installation. There's lots of gunfire and booms and crackles and stuff. You go. The
ambiance is great. If you're in the middle of a forest in between trees, you can hear them groaning and weaning.
That's right.
I think the ambiance is done extremely well. But the best part of audio, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, is the voice acting.
Yes. To a degree.
Yeah. Please explain.
Go on, you go first. It's one of those things. There's so much dialogue in this, right? There's so many words.
And you won't even hear half of it.
Yeah, and I don't really deem that as a problem. You're in a universe, you're talking to people. I like dialogue more than I like reading, so I'm perfectly happy with them talking. But you can see, or at least I felt, you could feel the people who were kind of bored reading their dialogue lines compared to the people who enjoyed their dialogue lines. Because there were some people. Oh yeah, I'm a like the guy. I don't know if you met him. There's a guy you tried to convince to be a doctor who was originally a plumber. He was great. His voice actor was like, he loves his job, and then when he was told he could be a doctor and work on the bowels of humans, he was like, oh my god, the greatest like digestive and toilet system in the world. I get to play with that. His voice actor was brilliant. Loved it. Yeah. But some of the other voice actors are like, hi, yeah, so I know that you're from that spaceship. Do you want to? Yeah. Okay. Well, go speak to this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm being mean because the dialogue.
No, I understand. If we're being realistic with the amount of dialogue in this game,
it's mountainous. Yeah.
Exactly. They can't afford that.
No, agreed. I do agree entirely. You can't. It would be just a money pit and just years upon years in the making, fundamentally. Okay,
let's move on to gameplay. I remember gameplay being a big conversational point with the Outer Worlds 1. What did you think this time around?
I understand why people didn't like 1, because the combat was okay. Mm-hmm. It was... Again, it's so like we as gamers, we are very picky and kind of very nitpicky in regards to gaming. And yet the combat wasn't great in the first one, and I actually thought the combat wasn't that great in this one.
Oh,
I did like some of it, but again, some of it feels a little slapped on. Like, out of curiosity, after the first mission, the tutorial mission, how many people did you sneak up upon and stab and try to do stealth kills?
0.
Same. And I like being stealthy and stabby. It's kind of like one of my traits. And it got to again, I am being fussy because there's some real deep complexity to the combat, because certain enemies are weaker to like robots are weak to electricity and fire against organics and poles for and some are immune, and
I get it. There are a couple of layers to these things.
But a lot of it was also like when you could activate, you can activate your companion's abilities, and they can be quirky. Niles is like taunts them and kind of does some shooting at them, and depending on what graft you have for graft lady, forget her name, she can shoot balls or turn invisible and help heal you and stuff like that. But when you activate them, they just go, like Niles will teleport to the other side of the battlefield and just be in front of the other guy's face. Like, he doesn't run from your side to go do it, he just appears and does it.
Yeah. I understand what you mean.
And in the end, I just went with melee because you didn't have to get bullets and stuff for it, and it just
I ran out of bullets constantly.
Right? Overall, melee just was like really powerful too. Yeah. I got that big like electric hammer you kind of got from one of the bosses, and I just kept using that throughout the whole thing. It just worked.
Nice. I used the Moonman staff that you get with the premium edition.
That is a cool staff. There's no doubt.
That was great. I think combat is serviceable.
It's difficult at times. I kind of like some of it was tough. Yeah, I think once or twice.
You do get some bullet spongy enemies, which I don't enjoy ever.
Yeah, that's very true.
The combat is fine. It's serviceable. Although I am going to argue that combat isn't the main gameplay mechanic.
Agreed. It isn't. Nor is it in Fallout games fundamentally, right? So
it's true as well.
But agreed. You're not playing Obsidian game because you love the combat of Obsidian games. You're doing it for, again, the narrative and the character.
Exactly, and the freedom of play style that you can tackle certain missions.
Right. That's exactly
whether
right.
that be just in the middle of a dialogue, just banter and exchanging witty remarks, or if it's through exploration and finding a solution by, I don't know, jumping through the roof or crawling through the vents.
Yep.
Most of these missions give you the freedom of play style to choose which way you want to do them.
Again,
that's why you play these games.
Well. Yeah, there was like a lot of the time you do think to yourself, especially I felt like sometimes when you brute force it, you actually kind of get the less narratively fun one, right? I brute forced this the church with all the zealots people in, and I only found out once I killed everyone, if you went upstairs, you could sneak through the ceiling and switch on the air vents to distribute some gas and then just knock everyone out, which is a far cooler like narrative than just going in there and
way better.
Grenades.
It's so. This is what I'm talking about. It's so great when a game asks you to think.
Yes, agreed. And I know that you actually...
We don't have these games anymore. We have so few games that asks you to use your brain.
Like actual critical thinking.
Exactly.
In games.
Not only in a strategical sense, like XCOM maybe, but a game that forces you or asks you to think outside of the box.
Yep. And you don't like you often do a character build, charisma build. Sorry, by all accounts, don't you?
I do.
A bit of smooth talking, a bit of bribery, a bit of intimidation. Things like that,
maxed. Right? I immediately started leveling my speech. I got the witty perk. I had a gambler background. So much fun.
Yeah. Again, this is where Obsidian games do just thrive in these moments, and like you said, where you think to yourself. Again, you come to these moments, you go, God, what if I had that perk? Or what if I had this perk? Or I did have a moment where I didn't have enough speech skills and I was completely blocked out from what would have been the nicer outcome. He just said no to me. Like, which I'm sure didn't happen to you, but he said, no, I'm not doing that. And I was like, oh crap.
All right,
what am I supposed to do now? And again, we've said it and we've glazed it enough. It's the character that you get to play. The decisions going wrong, the decisions going right, the decisions going a way you never predicted they do, like in any scenario. Yeah. And the gameplay does revolve around that type of thing. But it's also got all the things you like. Lots of weird notes you can pick up to tell you lore, and lots of those notes can actually help or hinder your further questions with people.
Well, of course. I mean, if you find these things, you can blackmail, you can intimidate, you can persuade.
You see that little option at the bottom with the little question mark that you need a thing, like a little item and you don't have it, and that's so annoying because you don't know which item it is.
It is, but there's so much of those things. I can't imagine that you will get every single one of those in a single playthrough.
No, agreed, and that's again
not the point.
Exactly, you're exactly right. You won't get those. You can't, because, like you said, you can't min-max everything. You can't.
No, and you shouldn't. Gamers, please stop doing that. Please stop trying to have the perfect run, or die trying. Just go with the flow.
And by all the kids, this has got all those things that we loved from Fallout in it too. Instead of bubbleheads, you get these like baseball cards that improve your stats. And if you collect all the cards, you go to a woman and she gives you rare items. And exploration, you just walk onto like a bunch of strange little things, like weird little sub-stories that you try to work out that have no real relevance to the main story, but got your intrigue. One thing I didn't like, you can't swim. I learned that like the hard way.
You can't swim?
No, right?
Oh.
I do like... When you went to that, what's the Westport or whatever?
It's Westport, yes.
Half that city was underwater on the left-hand side, right? And I went I went into a slight puddle, and I do like, it did tell me, you died by drowning yourself or something. It's very dry when you die. Like you died by instigating a huge fall or something like that. But you couldn't swim. Oh, am I going mad? Could you swim?
Okay. I never tried to swim because that's... I didn't try to swim because it's not something that I need to do in a game. But it's that debate. I mean, loads of people were cross at Mafia the Old Country because you could not swim.
Yeah, but I'd argue in this one, narratively, when you've got a city underwater, I kind of want to go swim in it to see. But I'm not that annoyed by it. It was just a bit rough to be like, you died, and I said, what? I barely went in waist high. Like, what's wrong with my character? But again, it's got all those things you like: bobbleheads, exploration. Again, it plays this narrative grey area that was really kind of complex to kind of navigate through, but fun. Crafting plays a massive role on your loadouts and your ammo and your grenades and your
components, consumables, mods.
But it really does. It's not just tacked on. If you want an easier time in combat and stuff like that, you really do have to buy the mods, craft the mods, implement the mods onto your items and stuff like that to really get the best of your loadout.
When I really, really, really start thinking about the game design for these types of games, when you need to work with every single game mechanic created by these game designers, this gameplay loop becomes complex. This gameplay loop becomes really addictive if they all start working hand in hand.
Right? I always think about, like, granted at school we used to call it like brainstorming. You get that one idea and then branching bits that come off it. Can you just imagine what those boards look like in regards to making games like this, where you've got picked up this item, then 6 branching outcomes, and then 6 more branching outcomes and stuff like that. It must be massive, the overreaching connection.
I think game designers are very, very smart and good at what they do, and can very easily make a project just completely blow up. If ambition is unchecked, I think you get a Cyberpunk 2077 situation, or what was it? A No Man's Sky upon release.
Yes, of course. Yeah, that was a bit too big for its britches, fundamentally.
Exactly.
Decent now. But yeah, I often think these things, and I am much like so, kind of blown away sometimes. The options these games kind of give you, the outcomes they give you that are connected to something you picked up or you didn't pick up or you taught. Again, it does that whole system that I've always liked. Thingy will remember that, so you know that you've done something to that person that will come up later.
They really do remember that.
Yeah, and you go, oh crap, what did I do to him? I love that. There's one decision that you had to make in the tutorial level.
under panic.
Yeah.
Right? That one thing you say to Niles, right?
Okay,
go save this person or go back to the ship.
That's right. Yes, I remember.
Much later in the game, a different character gives you gas about that decision.
Yeah, no. It is.
Which
again, it's an alive world.
I could not believe my ears.
Yeah, and you do, and you get kind of nervous when they said, "Oh, he'll remember that," and I think,
he'll remember that. Oh,
did I say something wrong? What company does he work with? Because I forget which company each person works with or what they're pro, and I'll say something like pro Auntie's Choice, and I forget they're a protectorate, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, then you don't get the discount." And I'm like, "What? Why?
They'll
what did
remember
I do?"
that.
I know. And you can do nothing about it, which is great, because you're like, "Oh, shit." No, it is there. Like I say, this is where these games shine. That like you said, like the D&D aspect of it.
Oh, absolutely.
You roll your dice, and you have to deal with the outcome of it. And these things roll
so
same thing.
So great.
And that's what pulls you through this game. The stories, even the companion stories, are somewhat interesting, except for Niles. I still haven't found anything interesting about him. I like Val
Niles.
more than Niles. But it does. This is what keeps you going. This is why I've got 20 hours into it already, and I barely scratched the surface. It just pulls you in. Anything else gameplay related?
The gameplay is good. The combat is fine.
Yes, agreed. That's what I'd call it. It's not bad.
It could be better, but I mean the combat's not why you're playing this.
No, exactly right. This is a role playing game at its fundamental core.
Hell yeah,
it is. Anything else combat, or do we want to go to performance? Because again, your performance score was lower than mine.
Mainly just because of a couple of bugs and frame rate drops. I wouldn't say it's anything egregious, really, but just some slight rough spots of a couple of bugs, some pop in, but the frame rate is really... There were spots where the frame rate kind of just dipped.
It does, yeah, especially when you do the normal, if you pan round or jump down somewhere and stuff like that. Out of curiosity, I did have a weird bug. It was by no means like game breaking. You know when you leveled up and you went to your main stat screen to increase one of your stats, be it speech or whatever, and then you unlock a perk. When I R1 or R2 to the perk screen, I couldn't move anything around. I had to come out the perk screen and go back into the perk screen.
You had that too?
Did you have the same thing?
I did.
I thought I was doing something wrong, so I had to keep going
I also
out and then
had
go
that.
back
I pressed around on the D-pad. I wiggled the analog. Nothing.
I thought I was locked into. I hadn't used all my allocation points from like the first screen, so it wouldn't let me move the second screen.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it's a
but
weird.
But no, I had
bug.
the exact same bug.
Okay,
I couldn't navigate through the perks menu.
Yes.
And kind of need to move through the menus a bit.
Yeah, and
then it worked. No idea why.
A very small bug to really hit.
It is. It's tiny. It's tiny.
It was a bug.
And also, which kind of brings me to something I said earlier in the episode, that the performance is kind of going to mimic last week's performance segment.
Yeah.
So this week we had Outer Worlds 2. Last week we had Ninja Gaiden 4. Both of these were published by Xbox.
That's true. Very true. Yeah.
Both of these, I'm thinking, only had their PlayStation development start much later in the cycle.
Which actually really does, like you said earlier, match the whole premise that this game wasn't originally going to be released on PlayStation 5.
Exactly.
And then after a few trailers and I guess a bit of fan outgoing cropping and moaning and stuff, they said, "Oh no, we're released on PlayStation 5." So that does,
and a couple of corporate shenanigans.
Yeah, but that does kind of suggest your narrative is right, because then they got to quickly make a PlayStation 5. I don't know how quick or easy it is to port it to a whole new console and stuff. But
no idea.
Nothing in this life is that simple, so it must have been quite difficult to
Of
make
course,
that change,
of course.
right?
And I'm thinking that is why we have a couple of bugs.
Yeah, I think. And there was a patch for it just the other day. Outer Worlds 2.
I think that was the day one patch.
Yeah, it was like 7 gigs or something. So a lot of this may have been fixed already, and we may not have just noticed yet, because we played this game before release because we're cool game reviewers and we flex like that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think you actually could be right. I think it could be the quick decision to release it on multi-platforms, and it kind of just doesn't get the polish that the other versions do. But it will get fixed.
It'll get there. Yes.
It's not.
I'm just happy that these games are on more platforms.
Oh hell yeah, yeah! Just like I said, that's only good news for all.
Yeah, available to more gamers.
Yes, agreed. But yeah, I think you're right. It does have its problems, and it's got its little. But it ran in the long run runs fine. Just does have some performance issues to kind of fix and polish up. Right? Yeah. Okay. What do you think? Value for money then?
I think this is some good big value for money, right? I scored this higher. This is, I think this game, you can have multiple playthroughs. You can have loads of experiences. I think no single playthrough is the same.
Very true, which is a lot of value in regards to the bang for your buck side of things, right?
Yeah. This game has loads of content, meaningful choices, lots of replayability, branching paths, lots to explore. No, I think there's a lot of value that can be found in Outer Worlds 2.
Do you know there was actually something? This is kind of good for the consumer too. Did you know this game was originally slated for $80?
I did know that. It was actually big news.
Yeah, and of course, just like when Nintendo said, "Oh yeah, but it's the value for money you get with the $80." The game, that's the same thing happened. All the gamers out there said $80 is just too big a jump. Like what you're doing, this is too. And I hate to say this, they kind of listened, and so they actually reduced it by $10.
Again, I'm thinking people voted with their wallets. I think pre-orders were so embarrassingly low.
Yeah, you're probably right.
That Microsoft said, if this is what the pre-orders look like, the sales are going to be even worse. So let's go back down to $70. Take the hit, go back down to $70, and this will rectify.
I do love that the market volatility at the moment is games like, okay, Clair Obscur we know came out like 50, but like Megabonk is like 9, and like Peak
Silk Song is 20.
Silk Song is 20, so now all these other games are just like money's being poured into them, and the big corporates like, okay, maybe $80, they're just not going to buy it.
Maybe that's a bit egregious.
Yeah, like maybe we knock it down by 10. We put it on more platforms. Give it a little special at Christmas, maybe.
Quick question, quick answer. Is this game worth $80?
No.
Is this game worth $60?
Yes.
Is this game worth $70?
Yes. The thing is, compared to other $70 games, yes.
Yeah.
Some other $70 games that are coming out now, they're not worth $70. This definitely needle points towards the worth $70 mark compared to some others.
I would say it is pointing towards it being a better $70 than other $70.
I agreed entirely.
$70 is still a lot of money.
Oh, it is. It's a ton of cash. There's no doubt $70 is a lot of money. But like you said, it begs you for multiple playthroughs.
Yes.
This game has to be 100 or so hours if you want to do everything.
Exactly.
We're only on the first couple planets. I feel like the main story is barely barely actually touched. So
if you want to have another playthrough, but you want Assassin Grandma with you this time.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, there is so many little combinations again that begs you to, we've all got the I want to play good, I want to play bad, I want to play corporate, I want to play just plain evil, I want to play with Granny, I want to play with Val, I want to do a one person only run.
There's so much you can do. There's so much you can do. I agree.
That type of thinking, which means it does stretch that money marker kind of a lot better.
By the pure fact that it's giving you options.
Yes, exactly. And it gives you, again, it's not one of those, I know the story now, so I don't have to play it. I might play it again in 6 years when I've forgotten the story because too many games. And of course, if you do subscribe to Game Pass, I believe this game was released on one of the levels of Game Pass. I actually don't know what levels they are.
If you're still even subscribed to Game
Pass. Yeah,
that's
true. By all accounts, I don't blame anyone.
There's some stuff that happened over there. But
yeah,
I think the only caveat is that loads of options, tons of stuff, great value.
Yes.
I mean, great value for money. $70 is a lot, but please don't expect a radical reinvention of the wheel.
Yes, like a lot of people really do with every game.
Exactly.
Comes out. Exactly right.
Exactly. This isn't the big, flawless video game to beat all video games. Don't put it on that pedestal. It's not that.
Don't put any game on that pedestal. All you're going to be is disappointed.
Exactly. Even if you put Expedition 33 on that pedestal, it's not the perfect game. Everyone really says it is.
There is no such thing as the perfect game. There just isn't. It's a lot easier to go through life enjoying the things you like out of each thing instead of
set your expectations.
And $70, not too bad. Again, Obsidian is quite well known. I don't know how much say they got in this regard of games going on kind of a big discount. You can buy, I know it's been a while, Pillars of Eternity, Fallout Vegas. I don't know how much Avowed is at the moment, but a lot of the games now are like $10.
I'm pretty sure it's on sale.
Yeah, so
I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 6, 7, 8 months the Outer Worlds 2 is gonna go on a 20% sale or something.
I agree.
Grab it then. If you don't want to pay the $70, which is super understandable.
Yeah.
Grab it on sale. If you know you're gonna enjoy the gameplay loop, if you enjoy the game, then yes, on sale is a good buy.
Yeah, and this is this got a history of doing those things, so it is one of those ones. You just wait for it to get cheaper. Not a problem.
Cool.
Okay, what did we score this bad boy in the long run then?
Our scores for the Outer Worlds 2 landed on the planet in the middle of a town called Fairfield. As it was exploring around, it found loads of factions, the Corporation of Auntie's Choice, the Propagandized State, the Protectorate, and also the Church of the Order of the Ascendant. They easily trounced on all of those, which is unfortunate because it eventually got trounced by a single Raptidon. This Raptidon ate every score except for the one that escaped, and the one that escaped is the letter-grade rating of B. Can I just say, B is a good score.
It is. It's also, like, when was the last time we scored a game just a B? Like, it's normally pluses and minuses. That was hitting the perfect B. Which it is. Again, we kind of get, like, $70 a lot of money. It's not the graphical wonder. It's not an audio masterpiece, which let's face it, like an A+ doesn't exist.
No, an A+ doesn't exist.
It just doesn't. That does not exist as a game.
To anyone across that we don't have an A+ game.
Right.
I don't know. Get real.
Yeah, so B is actually it's a really high grade.
It's a good score. This is Outer Worlds 2 is a solid video game. It's doing some stuff that video games don't do anymore that we really should.
Agreed. And it's like I said, if you've got any sort of love for old school RPGs in any of their forms, be it Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights, Knights of the Old Republic, any of those things, this is just it and more.
I think it does. I really think it does. If you can stomach the combat, which it's not bad. It's
not bad.
Fine. It's serviceable.
Yeah, it's just not that fun.
The rest of the game really is a great package.
Yes, agreed. This is a one you
solid
buy.
Video game. B is a good score. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you for listening to our episode this week on the Critical Arcade Podcast. If you would just press all the buttons on your screen right now. If you see a button, press it. Do it.
Yeah, I want to know what happens when you did that as well. Like, in the comments, what happened to your PC if you pressed all the buttons at once? Does something happen? Do you invent the warp drive? Is it the improbability drive?
Did you invite an exorcist into your home?
Yeah, who's pressed? No one in this planet has pressed all the buttons at once on their PC. I promise. Like, it doesn't. No one's done it.
Possible.
You may have just invented time warp technology. Just there.
Hell yeah!
Careful, right?
Hell yeah!
Just know it was invented here first. Patented.
Critical Arcade.
Invented. By all means, do it. I want to know what happens.
Do it. Follow, subscribe, share. Tell your friends. Tell your parents. You can do all of those things. I'm not going to stop you. David.
Yes.
Where can we follow you?
You can follow me out and about, but with talks with Auntie's Choice, I've developed an ecosystem, a terraformed planet, so to speak, that only has her slogan playing continuously on end, on a loop, Auntie's Choice. I don't even know what they're selling, just Auntie's Choice. The only food you get to eat are scrats. I think that's what they're called, the little rodent thing that runs around to and fro. And you will get a fairly insane case of the purple... What are they? Purple crunchies?
The Purple Berry Crunch.
Purple Berry Crunch addiction. And that will perpetually just... You'll be stuck in a time zone where that's just continuously playing until your brain melts, your eyes fall out your head, and you become a slave to Auntie's Choice, I suppose.
You know, I'm pretty sure there's actually someone in the Outer Worlds universe that's had that happen to them.
Yes,
I would not be surprised.
Mathematically, that's probably true. Yes, very. Which is very in the order. They love maths and all with their weird.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know if you can love maths, but they do.
Oh, they do. Anyway, that's a weird... yes,
yeah,
by all
anyway.
means, if you wish to follow me, then that will happen to you, by all accounts.
Don't follow Dave.
Roll the
Don't
dice.
do it. I'm telling you now, do not do it. Rather, listen to Dave. Tell us, what have we got lined up for next week?
Next week, again, we get these games, and we love games, ladies and gents, but we get these Herculean tasks sometimes. Because the next week's game is a favourite of mine. I love any Japanese RPG. I love old Japanese RPGs, and this week, or next week, we're getting our hands on the Dragon Quest Remake 1 and 2, HD edition and stuff. But we also know those games are like 40 to 50 hours each to kind of get through. And
40 to 50 hours each, and there's 2!
And we have jobs, and he has 6 kids, and so 8.
I do have 8 kids.
He's got too many kids. Like, how are we supposed to get...
I don't know.
I'm looking forward to it, but damn. But next week...
This is why people tune into Critical Arcade, because we do the impossible.
We do. We somehow put hours upon hours in a turn-based Japanese RPG.
Not now, kids. You'll have to be hungry. Daddy's playing Dragon Quest.
Exactly. I've got a princess to save, or whatever it is in this game. So looking forward to it. I love the old-school JRPGs.
Yeah,
and this is supposed to be a good remake. So let's
see
what our scores are for it next week.
Yeah. And if you want to tune in, check next week. We'll see you then. Cheers.
Cheers.